Don't worry, even if you suck at the pizza toss, I can still show you how to make pizza like a boss. In the past, whenever I made pizza, it was always such a fail. Some sides were super thick and other sides were like cracker thin, and the shape was always irregular, and I just hated it. So I figured out a way to make the most perfect pizza, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So this is pizza on a cast iron skillet, okay? And it gives you the most unbelievable crispy crust. So we're gonna start off over here and work on our dough right now. For the dough, we're gonna start off with our yeast mixture, okay? And you're gonna need 1 cup of warm water. And this is like, the temperature of this is like a warm bath water. We're gonna pour this over half a teaspoon of sugar. You're gonna need 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. And even though this is instant, I still like to bloom it just because you never know if it's still active or not, okay? And then right over here, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, but I'm not going to put all of it in. I'm just gonna put about 1.5 cups in, and I'll leave some out for a little bit. Then I'm gonna dump in my yeast mixture. And I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of olive oil. Now you might be thinking this is quite a bit of olive oil, but I really like that focaccia style bread, so that's why I'm putting in quite a bit. So I put in 2 pinches of salt as well, and we will let that mix. And then as I go, I'm going to add a little bit of flour if it's too wet. Okay, so I did end up incorporating all of my AP flour, okay? And then now what I'm gonna do is, now when it's about this consistency, I'm gonna change it to my hook attachment. And I'm just gonna knead it for about 2 minutes or so. With this type of hook attachment, sometimes the dough crawls up the hook, but it doesn't actually knead, it's just spinning on the hook. So I find it really helpful to kind of take it off the hook, the dough, and then just bring it back down and then start over again. Okay, so now I'm just gonna dust my board a little bit. I'm just gonna knead this a little bit more. It's pretty good now. It's just a little bit sticky, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of flour. Ooh, so you really want it to be nice and smooth like this. Perfect. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to a bowl. We're going to just grease that up, and then we're gonna wrap it. And then I'm gonna set this aside in a warm, dark place, and you wanna let this proof for about, actually like maybe 3 hours at least, and that will give you a really, really nice dough. Okay, so through the magic of YouTube, I already have a dough ready, so I'm just gonna take it out. And this is what it looks like after about 3 hours. And I'm actually going to dust this with a little bit of semolina flour here. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna knead it a little bit with my hand, just like that. And then with the semolina flour here, I'm just gonna flatten it out. And you don't have to use semolina flour. You can go ahead and use like AP flour, but I really think it adds a little bit extra crunch. So I like it. So, and I just put it on the bottom actually. I don't put it all around. And I just kind of use the bottom of my hand to make a circular shape. Okay, so over here I have my cast iron, and typically I would use olive oil, but actually olive oil has a really low smoke point. So today I'm just gonna use avocado oil instead. And you wanna be pretty generous with the avocado oil. You're just gonna maybe a little touch more. Okay, so it's okay guys, olive oil, I mean avocado oil is good for you. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of use our hands and kind of stretch it and push it to the side, just like you would for focaccia bread. Okay, and now I'm going to add a little bit of tomato sauce. And actually what you want to do is you kind of want to put it to all the way to the end, just because that beautiful burnt tomatoes is really, really delicious. Okay. Garlic powder, a little bit of Italian seasoning. Okay, and here I have an assortment of different types of cured meat. A little bit of extra basil. And oh, I also have fresh basil upstairs. Let me go get some. So we got the basil, and now I'm just going to put a little bit on. Actually, basil will wilt quite a bit in the oven, so I just like to put a few on, and then later I'll top it off, a couple of fresh ones on top. So last but not least, we're going to put a little bit of cherry tomatoes. I had already gone ahead and roasted them. I think they're really nice when they're a little bit roasted and burnt like that. Okay, let's go. Oh, heavy. Should I go for? I think I'm gonna take this one right here with the beautiful crusty cheese. Okay, and I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of pepper on it. And what you can also do is you can drizzle a little bit of olive oil on it as well, and that will give it a really nice glossy look as well, make it really nice and rich. But now, Now, I'm not a Nona, but I have to say, this Asian girl can make pizza pretty comparable to Nona, okay? So if you enjoyed this recipe, make sure to click like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.